Oh man. Oh boy. What a week. I'm back. Yes. Oh man. Glad I'm feeling 100% better than I was a week ago. That right there would have been screaming agony for me because I had what they called a frozen shoulder and they had to go and do what they call a nerve block. And oh my God. It's been therapy, but it's getting there. I mean, everything I can do now, I can move my arm and stuff. And I guess went in there and what they do is they put you to sleep and they rotate the arm or whatever, try to get it unfrozen. They give you like a nerve block shot because I had a band-aid on her. I didn't even know till last night. Um, but I've been going through therapy for last week. I've got to go this week, but not as many days. I've got it's every other day. I got Tuesday. I think Thursday. I think is the only days I have to go. But I'm so glad, it's feeling a lot better because a lot of things a week or so ago I couldn't done without that nerve block. Um, but I'm so happy my shoulders getting back. It's sort of weird how it happened. I was building that. I think you saw one of my last three or four videos of the U.S. Marine Corps funny car. Well, I'd reach behind my back to scratch my back, and I don't know what I did, if I did it too hard or what, or just I thought, you know, maybe I pulled a muscle. That's what I thought it was. Um, but you know, it hurt, and it started hurting worse and worse. I couldn't figure it out. It got to where it was hard to move my shoulder, like right there. And the first time I ever been hurt building a model, besides cutting my fingers. Um, but I didn't know what was wrong. I finally told myself I got to go to the doctor. I got to get this checked out. And doctor told me it was they call a frozen shoulder, which I've never even heard of. My sister has. And so they told me what they wanted to do, and I said, "Well, let's do it, man. I got to get this taken care of because come spring, I'm gonna need, be able to move my arm and my shoulder." So I'm glad it happened now, not the beginning of spring. Um, I might have mentioned some of this in the last video, but it was um, pretty weird because they take you in, they put you to sleep, and they put an IV in your hand, your other hand, and when it's like you wake up, your arm is like you can't even. I mean, you can move it all you want, that arm ain't moving. I had to literally pick my arm up and move it. Um, it was completely dead. I was freaky. I've never had a sensation like that. It's like your whole arm just went to sleep. Could not feel nothing. Um, that lasted about a day or so, but then the feeling started to come back, and you know, but yeah, it's doing a lot better. I'm so glad it's doing better. But I'm just sitting here watching TV and drinking my coffee, trying to keep an eye on the weather. Hopefully it warms up and all the snow blows away. It's saying 24 now. 24 degrees. But let's see. Well, Tuesday ain't looking bad. It's supposed to be 49, 39 tomorrow. Then it goes down to 37 on Wednesday, 34 on Thursday. Yeah, it stayed around that area between 35 and 40 the rest of the week until next Tuesday. Well, Monday and Tuesday. Sunday 40, the 16th. Monday it's supposed to be 48. Tuesday's supposed to be 62. Oh boy, maybe we'll get rid of some snow. Um, and Wednesday's supposed to be 58, and then 52, and it starts going back down in the 40s. 37 Sunday. So it's still at that range. It's going flopping around like a dead tuna. Uh, but hopefully, all the snow we have is all we're going to get. I would be very grateful for that. I don't want any more snow. My bike's sitting outside. Um, the front wheel, I tried to cover it up best I could, but apparently didn't do enough. And then I got snow on my rims and stuff, and I don't want my rims to get ruined. So I got another tarp back there. I'm going to try to recover the front. So stretch those out, because I don't have the money to have those re-chromed. But, yeah. Sort of thinking about a lot of people I used to know. Uh, I have my coffee. Um, in the foster homes and some of the stuff I went through. Uh, I had a lot of, yeah, good memories and bad memories, good homes and bad homes. I had ones I absolutely loved and sort of got screwed. And I won't say it was all their fault. I had something to do with it. Um, One in particular, they moved from Clovis, California to Atascadero out on the coast. That's between San Luis Obispo and Morro Bay. It's out by 101 in California, if anybody knows anything about California. I lived there years. I know the ins and outs of California and the politics and the BS that goes on out there. That's why I will not move back out there. Anyway, but they bought a store, bought a house, and got permission for me and another boy to move with them, do social services. To We were both foster kids. Me and a kid named Robert Campo, and well, summer was done. We had to start school, so and I was usually in special ed. Okay, well, unfortunately, in this town, no such thing. They stuck me in junior high, and you want to talk about scared to death? I was petrified. Didn't know nothing about what they were doing. You know, never taken gym class before. Um, Total different world. Um, and as time went on, she'd get us up, get us fed, get us to the store. We'd, mess around the store for a while, grab something for lunch and walk to school, go to school. Well, um, I ran into a couple of boys that were smoking and chewing tobacco and stuff like that. I started hanging around with them. I got hooked on that. And I wasn't but 11, 12 years old, maybe 13. I don't remember. But let's just say I wasn't the legal age. Um, and later on, after I'd been at school a while, they had us bring home paper that the parents had signed. Come to find out, it was for sex ed. They wanted to teach kids sex ed. So the people there, John and Judy Lynn, signed it. And started going through that. And my hair was a mess. I need a shower. Bad. I started taking that. And one day I was walking home from school, some girl hollered at me, and I'm like, you know, I didn't know this girl at all. Apparently was in that class. I never even, I'm like the wallflower. I'm trying not to look at anyone. And she asked me my name and stuff. We got talking and stuff, and asked me if I wanted to come over to her house, which I did. Um, One thing led to another, and somehow we wound up. Excuse me. I know. Uh, One thing I hate about this stupid weather services. Um, Wound up at brother's treehouse, and we're talking about that class, and somehow or another, she wanted to do it. Let's say, and I was absolutely terrified. Um, well, because not thinking that yes, I was supposed to go straight home. So, and don't get me wrong, I love these people to death. Um, so we did what I guess curious teenagers kids do. You know, I don't even know if we were doing it right. Um, but then I started thinking, man, I got to get home. You know, and I'm thinking on the way home, I'm thinking, man, I am so dead. I didn't get home till almost like 5. I was supposed to be home at like 3. I'd been there a little too long. Um, and I got yelled at and sent to the back of the store. Well, later that night, they asked me what I was doing. I told them I went to a friend's house. I didn't tell them what kind of friend or what we were doing. Oh no. And Judy proceeded to tell me, well, you just won't be hanging around with that friend anymore. This is where I come into messing up. I, for some of the reason, I guess, was mad. I don't know why. I was getting to that age. And told her, well, I can't have friends. I ain't going to school. Big mistake. Um, she didn't really say anything. But a few days later, had me and Robert. Why Robert? I don't know. Packed up and moved out of there and on our way back to Fresno, where we originally come from. She drove us there. She dropped me off at home out in the country at Fresno. Robert, I don't know if he went back to his mom. I know where he lives, or he did live. I met his mom, pretty cool lady. Um, Last I heard, he was in prison. Apparently stabbed some guy or something. I don't know. That was years ago, back in the 80s. But you know, that was my fault. You know, she could have done anything. Well, you're grounded. You we'll take you to and from school. Yada yada yada. Um, you know, I don't know if it made any difference that I told her what we were doing and who I was with, and that it was curiosity. I don't know if that would have made any difference or not. But I all these years thought, well, that's where I screwed up. But the messed up part is that later on, um, after I decided to leave foster homes on my own, I just left one day and never went back. Um, I went to see them. Same store, same town. Um, they John seemed glad to see me. You know, Judy was pretty standoffish. You know, she wouldn't really even talk to me or look at me or anything. You know, say hi. She looked at me like I was nuts. Like, oh my God, he's back. You know. Now, excuse me. Oh, stupid sinuses. Um, my thing is, why did she never talk to me? You know, could that been handled a lot different? Yeah, you know. Um, but why did she act that way? I wasn't mad as I was hurt. You know, Jody, my daughter Jody, cool girl. Um, you know, would talk to me. You know, we go back and talk. The first time I went to see them, they just like, well, we'll get a motel room. You know, we'll get rid of him. Well, I took money, but I didn't go get a motel room. I went and got beer. Um, this is years ago, long before I quit drinking. Um, I was still underage and got away with it. Um, you know, I guess because I was hurt so bad the way I was treated, they just tried to push me aside. You know, like yeah, we're still here, but we don't want you here. Um, I don't know if anybody else has ever been through that. Um, you know, it's I loved it there. They lived in Clovis, California, had a place way out in the country. You know, we run around like wild out there. You know, I go see JC, we run around our little underoos, go swimming. You know, didn't have to worry about a bathing suit, just jump in our underoos, go play in the dirt pit, you know, go to his house, ride golf carts, you know, which I wrecked, by the way. Well, I didn't total it, but I wrecked it into his back or the side of his dad's truck. His dad wasn't too happy. But I look at pictures on Google Maps now, and that place is not. No, the property they had is really just gone to shit. I hate to say that, but that's true. All the almond trees are either dead or gone. You know, driveway's been paved. The house I can't really tell because you can just barely see just a little smidgen of the house. The pool that they had, non-existent. You know, it's all big backyard now. The deck that John built back here with his own two hands. I was there when he built it, and painted it. I don't think it's even there anymore. The pit I used to play in back in the far corner of the yard, I think it's gone. You know, and just and Jason's house is completely gone. They put a big subdivision. If you're looking south from Lynn's house, out the backyard, you see the pool, and then you see the almond trees, and then you see a fence sort of lowered, but it's all open ground. That's all been turned into a huge subdivision. It's over off Nice Avenue, and where Jason's family's property was next door is big water tanks in a subdivision. So they've absolutely developed that whole area. All the mobile homes that were, if you walk up driveway across Nice, it had open fields and a few mobile homes and stuff living there. It's all houses now. Um, the school's still there down the street. The one that Robert went to, we went to for summer camp or summer school. I'm sorry. Um, Matt's house is still there. I think he probably long gone, grown, working, got his own family now. Um, he lived. If you walk out the back door to Lynn's house and you turn to the left and you look straight over, there was a chain link fence. Well, that property over there was Matt's family's house. They had big trees like we did, but I will see him out there mowing with the mask on because they said he was allergic to the grass. They had a house that sat from where Lynn's was. It sat sort of forward of ours and had the same kind of driveway, but our property fence went right down between two houses. Never did see them people. I don't know if they were American, Oriental, Martian, you know, had pink skin. I don't know. I never did see them people. Never did. Um, you know, they lived so far out in the country that I could have been running around with nothing at all on, you know, doing whatever. Nobody would have said a word. You know, that's the way it was back then. That's why, you know, me and Jason got along so well. Good. You know, I just run around my little underoos, just having a good old time. You know, riding my bike or going and play my pit, whatever. You know, do that today, and you're liable to get your parents are liable to get arrested. Um, you know, it's like everybody freaks out over kids being kids. You know, that's all I was doing, being a kid back then. But you know, a lot of kids did it. You know, people get offended seeing kids playing outside. You know, and just diapers and stuff. You know, come on, people, get a life. You know, but my daughter did it. You know, I did it. Sometimes not even that. When I was like three and a half, whatever it was. But you know, people get offended over the dumbest shit. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's true. You know, they want to argue and fight over the dumb stuff. You know, get a life. You know, it's just, you know, but yeah, I was great living there. I loved it. You know, when almond time come and John had to harvest the almond trees, they put a big tarp around the bottom of the tree. Nowadays, I think they do it different. They got shakers. Um, and take a huge mountain with a big head, and he'd swing it and hit it, and all the almonds would fall on the tarp. Then he'd load them up, put the sides up on his pickup truck. He had a flat little, like, old, I think it was a Ford or Chevy farm pickup truck. Had a flatbed, but then he put side rails on it with the plywood and close it all in, and then they'd dump the almonds in there, and he'd take it to get them processed. That processing place was big. I've been there. Um, but now I think they got a a thing that goes down the rows and it grabs the tree and it shakes them violently enough for the almonds to fall. Well, it seemed pretty quick. I've seen these things. Um, but you know, I had a blast living there. I love living there. You know, um, I just wish I wasn't treated as coldly as I was when I went back to Atascadero to see them. You know, I mean, it's probably one of the only ones I've ever gone back seen. You know, they should have been happy I came back to see them, not treated me like that. You know, I don't know if they ever watch YouTube, but if they do, hey, get a hold of me. I'm not hard to find. I'm not hiding. I'm here. You tell them, you ask my daughter. You know, I'm not hiding. Yes, I ride a motorcycle. Big whoop. A lot of people ride motorcycles. You know, hang around truckers. Hey, that's my thing, okay? Been doing it since I was like 13. I can tell you anything you want to know about truck. I can tell you the difference between a Peterbilt and Kenworth. My buddy drives a Kenworth, a T600, 2013 T600 Kenworth. You know, but yeah, you know, I would really like to talk to them. I'm really curious. You know, and like I said, I wasn't mad. I was hurt. You know, I'd love to have a face to face with them, but wishful thinking. Um, I can give them my number. They can call me. I don't care. I ain't doing nothing right now during winter. I can't do anything till spring. I can't ride my bike. I can't cut the grass. I can't do anything. We got still 2 feet of snow outside. I live in Kentucky. Come see me. I live in Florence, Kentucky. Please come see me. I beg you to come see me. You know, um, my number is 859-307-3205. Call me. We'll talk. You know, I don't wish, death on anybody, but I wish y'all well. I hope you're all doing well. I don't know whatever happened to Robin. She left before me and Robert even left. I don't know why. She just never came home from school one day. We don't know what happened. I've always been curious about that. But, and as I said, yes, I do ride a motorcycle. And yes, I did belong to a motorcycle club for a while. It came down to politics why we got out. But that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, call me. I'm not hard to find. I'm here. I'm here till closing. I'm not mad at anybody. I just want their, Judy's, John Judy's reason for why they treat me so cold. I'm just curious. That's all. Yes, I understand they had a business to run. I get it. I've been there, done that. But it's just like I just was hurt with the way I was treated. I know I don't drink anymore. I gave that up years ago. So give me a coffee and we're good. And yes, that is coffee. But I didn't even drink when I was with the motorcycle club. I quit drinking years before that. Well, yes, I've had a bit of a head cold, but but there were, like I said, there was, sorry, good homes and bad homes. Phillips, they after Lynn's, I went from worse to even worse, more worse. I wound up in a home of the bus driver that used to drive me to school on the school bus when I lived at Lynn's, Bob Phillips. I didn't even know he was a foster parent. He's a child molesting foster parent, but yes, a foster parent. And as I said, yes, I did smoke back then. And that was the reason for me leaving there. That I went from there to even worse than that. That's why I said I was happy at Lynn's. I could have survived at Lynn's if they would have talked adoption. My whole life probably would have changed. I would have finished school, which I never did. Never graduated. Never got a GED. I spent my life on the road, trucking from one end of this country to the other. That's something I enjoy. I've been from New York to California, and from California to Florida, and everywhere in between. I've been doing a lot of truck stops. I've seen a lot of things. Been in a few truck wrecks, but you know, but oh yeah, like I said though, that's a long story. So if they ever want to get a hold of me, hey, I'm not hard to find. You know, if I don't answer, I'm probably busy or my phone's dead. Leave me a message. I'll get back with you because I'm always curious when I get messages and they say unlisted number. Or, I get ones that say scammers and stuff like that. Just leave me a message of who you are and I'll get back with you. But no, like I said, I was happy there. I loved it. You know, but I looked at Google Maps and I think I found where their home used to be in Atascadero. I'm not sure, but all I know is you come off the 2-lane road, you make a left, you sort of go down over a hill. There's a driveway, the house that's there, but if you keep going, it dead ends at a cul-de-sac. Okay, so we used to ride our bikes down the hill. And you had to have good brakes or you were going to eat that guardrail that went around the thing, or because on the other side you would have went down over into the highway. And from what I see on Google Maps, it looks like that whole place has been industrial. It's all a bunch of businesses, roofing businesses, and gutter businesses, and crap like that. I couldn't even make heads or tails out of anything. Because sometimes Google Maps won't let you take side street views, so I couldn't tell where I was. I was looking for a big hill on the other side, which I think has been all developed too. So if it's there, great. If not, oh well, you know. But yeah, like I said, I'm just here. So, but like I said, if you ever see this, please get a hold of me. You know, I want to know why. But I'm gonna get off here and go have some coffee. It is 9:09 p.m. and see what I can get into. See if there's anything good on TV or YouTube. So y'all have a good evening. Be good to each other. You can leave me comments, likes, dislikes. Stick your tongue at me. I don't care. So y'all have a good evening. God bless.